Good morning, everybody. Appreciate you being here like always. Wrapping up our Wednesday practice, ending with 2-minute drill like we always do. And, you guys know how we do it. We really get after it, full padded practice for a couple of hours, working all situations, multiple personnel groupings, and preparing our final real physical practice for Washington State. So questions, please.
Eric Scopel, 247 Sports.
All right, I wonder if we can just start with any update on the tight ends and then a question on why Stephen Jones didn't start the game. Obviously came in and played. I wonder if there was an explanation for that.
Tight end situation of this game will be the same as last game. Stephen Jones, for us, we consider him a co-starter. All six of those guys played. When I say all six, the tackle positions played just about even reps, all three of them. So he's part of the starting rotation.
Ryan Thorburn, register guard.
Mario, it seems like Jaden Delora kind of a perfect fit for Rolovich and what he's trying to do right off the bat. What are the keys, I guess, to stopping a freshman that, is so good at both areas of the field, running and passing?
Well, probably your best chances are going to be just don't treat him like a freshman because he's not your average freshman. He's a very mature, very poised quarterback. He seems to the moment is not big at all for him. He's just very natural in the system, which obviously he's run before, but he can hurt you in every way. He understands where the holes are in the defense. He understands what to take advantage of in his offensive scheme. He could do it with his legs, his arm, get you in the right play. He just tremendous command of the offense. He really does. And he's an explosive playmaker, keeps plays alive, and has hit some really big things down the field. So, again, you just got to be at your best. You got to be really disciplined. You got to play hard and fast.
Matt Preem, 247 Sports.
Max Borgi didn't play in that game against Oregon State. And what did you see from Deion McIntosh, and just kind of what does he bring to this offense and his playmaking ability at running back?
Well, he fits their scheme really well. He's explosive, fast. He's dangerous as a receiver, out of the backfield. He's a guy that using their empty sets as well. He has that make you miss ability in a subtle way where he doesn't have to, just really get off balance to do so. He'll make you miss, put a foot in the ground and go. And he's a home run hitter. He's a guy that could take it to the house if he has space. So, but he sets up his blocks really well. He's patient when he needs to. He hits it hard when he needs to. Really impressed with him and knew him as well. Watched him play football in high school. Was a great player then, and he was really good last week.
James Crapia, Oregonian.
All right, to follow on the tight ends. So is that Cooper still the second one then for this week, or does Patrick Herbert get the potential to move up? And also wanted to get an update on Popo and his availability.
Yeah, Popo will not be available. Patrick Herbert is getting better. He's close. We feel the same way about Webb. We'll see where they're at come game time, but we could definitely count on seeing both Cooper and seeing DJ.
Scopel.
I know a lot of fans probably see run and shoot and the air raid and think maybe those are kind of similar. Can you kind of speak to some of the differences and what makes this a tough animal to tackle?
Oh, they're different. I mean, they're certainly, one's predicated upon, I would say, maybe more what the defense shows you. The other one's more aggressive and kind of, I wouldn't be fair to say. I mean, they're just unique in different ways, in terms of their protections, in terms of the way they move the pocket. That's certainly different. The launch point changes a lot more in this offense than the air raid. The running game is much more diverse. At least in this particular one. I mean, you'll see tackle trap, you'll see dart, you'll see inside zone, you'll see counter, you'll see swing passes, a really good draw game, both quarterback draws and just regular halfback draws. Screen game is really good. It's multiple, and you'll see it out of multiple sets. I know typically you'll see four wides in there, but they move them around and, they put them in situations and spacing and split wise. That allows them to create what they want to from a distribution standpoint in the passing game.
Matt Preem.
Sack opportunities against the air raid are pretty difficult just because of the timing and how quickly they get the ball out of the hands of the quarterback. Is that the same case with this, or is there going to be more opportunities for you guys to to get some pressures, to get some sacks, to get some hits on the quarterback?
Oh, the ball's out quick. The ball's out quick. And I think what even more impressive than that is the fact their offensive line. Really impressed with the way those guys run the ball and protect. They're nasty. They get after it up front now. They're not passive in pass protection. They're getting after you. They create a really wide because they're so aggressive in pass protection. Those are really big, comfortable pockets. Quarterback has time to set up and feel comfortable. And if somebody misses, there's so much space that he has time to make a decision or just make a play, make somebody miss and make something happen. So, but overall, just again, both the combination of both things are certainly something that are difficult to defend.
Ryan Thorburn.
Mario, your first year taking over the program, you guys had a couple tough teaching moments at Washington State, at Arizona. The team has turned it around, obviously, dramatically in road play since then. What lessons did the team kind of learn from those trips? And beyond safety protocol, is there anything different you do preparing for a road game without fans?
Yeah, well, we changed our entire I thought we were changing that approach heading into 18 to do a better job on the road, and we slightly improved it in the past. Last year we got better, still not where we want to be, but playing on the road is a different mentality, completely different. You've got to pack it all. You've got to pack your toughness. You got to pack your energy. You've got to pack your discipline, your resiliency. You got to pack Autzen, in that bag as well. You got to pack it all, and you got to be ready to bring it because you need to cut out every single ounce of distraction and everyone and anything that has nothing to do with being successful in this football game. So I think we're getting a better understanding of that. We're certainly working on it and emphasizing it night and day. It has to look a certain way when you go on the road, and it's a business trip.
James?
Mario, I realize it's a very small sample of just 6 kickoffs, but since it was such an off-season point of emphasis, your thoughts on kickoff coverage, defense, whether it was Cam's kicks and the touchback percentage, and also your coverage ability on special teams on kickoffs?
Well, it has to improve. We start off the game poorly, but we kick the ball right down the middle of the field. And certainly that's – when you see a ball like that go up, your blood pressure goes through the roof because that's not the way it was intended. When it was called, we have kicks that go to the middle of the field and some that, go opposite and all that other stuff. But as the game went on, it certainly improved. And I know one was a line drive, but it was a touchback. The other one was just a normal touchback. Cam got better and better, and Cam has been excellent in practice. He really has. And we have confidence in him and expect him to have a great game.
Eric?
How is Noah kind of built off of his first collegiate game reps? I guess I'm curious if at a position like that where he's making some of the calls, if just getting that experience can be pretty significant for him in his development, and kind of, I guess, how does this week look from his perspective?
You mean the 2 practices that we've had since the game?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. I think him and all those guys are doing a really good job just repping the system. It's every week. Here's a challenge of the Pac-12. You face some really different offenses week in and week out, so you're going to get consistent scheme and verbiage work, but you're going to see something different. So he's getting the kitchen sink thrown at him now. He really is, right? Last week you saw those guys lined up 2 and 3 tight end sets. Sometimes they spread you out, and all of a sudden it's a run and shoot. We don't look past this week, but I'm sure there'll be different stuff. I think he's been excellent. If you had to grade him in what he's done in practice, which I think is the question, I want to make sure I answer it correctly. I think he's done a great job. I think he's been physical. I think he's been a detailed guy. He's a student of the game. Like, he understands it. I mean, it's in the DNA of that family, right? Those guys like eat and sleep football, and he's approached it like a pro.
James?
Mario, because it's come up a lot today, particularly out of the SEC, Greg Sankey, Jimbo, Will, everybody's kind of chimed in on this issue. Your thoughts on, since it is your first road game, of road locker rooms, and literally Greg Sankey said it's an issue to address in terms of potentially expanding the road locker room area. Is that a concern for you in general? I'm not talking about one specific week, one school. It's not calling out anybody, but the issue as a whole about expanding visiting locker room areas? Because even before this, players have talked about and remarked about how visiting local locker rooms are not exactly great.
Well, I think everything has to be on the table when you're dealing with what we're all dealing with. I know that here in Lane County, there's the medical experts and officials. They do a great job just having a setup that's, conducive to being safe and healthy. For example, our locker room's a mow, with every single shed and door open and all that stuff. So we that's the expectation when we're on the road. Our people have checked it out. We expect it to be safe, spacious, aired out, all the things that go with providing one. So I guess in answering the question, I would say that, all those things always have to be on the table because they matter. And if you read all the literature from the NFL and around the country, it's, those are areas that are always going to have to be paid special attention to because they involve gatherings. So
Last question goes to Matt.
What are the areas you just expect natural improvement from game 1 to game 2 from your team with so many new guys and young? You mentioned the young team. What's just the natural growth that you expect from week 1 to week 2?
Well, in meeting with our team, well, I guess everyone has to improve. From our staff to our players, our trainers, our strength coaches, every player in the program. I think a big challenge to our defensive line, I think continued challenge to our offensive line, the trenches in general overall. Oh, man, you already know where I'm headed. I'm going to name everybody. So I apologize. I should do a better job with this. I'll have Patrick give me the questions from now going forward so I have a better answer, man. But we got to improve. We have to stay addicted to improvement. If there's just no other way. There really is no other way. It's game 2. Guys are focused. We have to just cut out all the outside noise, man, and go just get at it and stay on it and, go get better and play a really good football team that's played some really good football this past week at their place, and a place that we need to, do better. When we showed up there last time, we didn't do a very good job, and that's my fault. So I need to do a better job.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate your time. Good luck.
Thanks, guys. Thank you, guys. You guys have a blessed day. Be safe.